I think it's nice to see these two nations working together to clean up the problems that they are primarily responsible for.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, yeah, I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't
there we
need
go.
to.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of A Very Special Relationship. My name is Matt Johnston. I have a show called The Interesting Times, which is a show that looks at the comedy value of UK politics, which is rather high at the moment. And speaking of comedy value of politics from the US is Andrea Bridges-Smith, who has a channel called at Phoenix News Network. Hello, Andrea. How are things going over there?
Matt, everything is fine over here. Our elected officials are about to come to blows, but that is neither here nor there. What on earth is happening over there? I am hearing that Suellla Braverman got sacked by Rishi Sunak, who appears to have grown some sort of vertebrate-like structure down his back. And then we've got former prime ministers getting delivered to the present from the past in what I can only assume was a souped-up DeLorean. As you Brits would say, what the bloody hell is going on?
Andrea, let me ask you a question. Are you still doing that whole democracy thing? You know, getting the people to vote on who runs the country? I mean, those idiots, am I right?
We seem to still be engaged in some form of it, I think.
Yeah, honestly, oh, how lame. Yeah, basically, we are trying out something a little bit different on this side of the pond, which involves no voting, just giving the jobs to the old boys network. So let's start at the start. Now, I hope things are going in okay in the US. We had quite the weekend. It was supposed to be Remembrance Weekend, a quiet and reflective time where everyone looks at the horror of conflict and wars and is ready to say enough. Except our now ex-Home Secretary, Suellla Braverman, took it upon herself to declare war against peaceful protests on the day we remember peace, because that asking for a ceasefire on the day we remember a worldwide ceasefire is disrespectful, apparently.
Sure.
So, yeah. So good news, she's been fired. Bad news, it's not out of a cannon. She's gone. James Cleverly has replaced her. And you'll never guess who's got James's old job.
I can only assume it's someone horrible.
Correct. It's 5 prime ministers ago and shiny forehead man, David Cameron. Now, 5 prime ministers back does seem like it should be longer than 7 years ago, but that's when it was. So tell me, Andrea, who was the 5th president ago? You know?
I believe that was, I want to say George Bush Sr., which was like 30 years ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, though.
It does over here as well. So yeah. Cameron's back and everyone's going, oh, finally, someone a bit statesman-like in the cabinet meetings, all of which is making Rishi Sunak a little nervous. Just, hey, what are you doing in my seat? I'm just trying it out for comfort. I see you've had the leg shortened. That's the size of this joke, by the way. Sunak is very small.
I can promise you he's still taller than me, but that's a very easy bar to clear. I'm very short.
Oh, right. How tall are you?
I am 5'3".
Oh, he's 5'6", I think, or 7. But relatively short, certainly when he's meeting other dignitaries around the world and stuff, he's a little one at the back. So you might be wondering why Sunak has brought Calamity Cameron back to Downing Street. Well, a couple of reasons. Well, actually, the only 2 reasons that make any sort of sense to me. Number one, Cameron won 2 elections by appealing to what we call blue wall voters, that is Conservative voters in the southern home counties, anywhere outside of London. Okay. And 2, let's be honest, he's unlikely to try to swipe Sunak's job. I mean, he walked away from it last time. It's like, yes, okay, I can come back, but I promised the wife I won't do weekends or bank holidays. Also, I want Bob's parking space.
You know, I didn't realize that he had walked away from it last time.
Oh, yes. He's a chap that called the Brexit referendum. And then when the Brexit referendum didn't work the way that he wanted it to, because he backed Remain very heavily, he walked away the very next day, in fact. Came out, put the luck in, and he was like, right, you wanted this, I'm off. Somebody else's problem.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not sticking around to clean up whatever this mess is. and honestly, ended up being a pretty good decision because it seems like things have gotten a little squirrely since then.
Yeah, a little swirly. Yes, that's a wonderful end chapter to a country like the UK. The final, our epitaph. A little
Yes.
swirly. Yes. So Cameron isn't an MP, which means he hasn't been elected. So he's having to go to the House of Lords, which is a bunch of unelected people in Parliament.
Okay.
Although he still has to report to Rishi Sunak, the unelected Prime Minister. The whole thing looks like the last season of a show you might binge watch, where they've sort of given up. The scriptwriters don't know where the plot is going. The cast has fallen out. And so they brought back the bad boy from season 1. And you're like, just wrap it up, honestly. You've made your money. It's just not entertaining anymore.
Now, if I know anything about Hollywood, they will just keep making spin-offs forever. Before you know it, Suella Braverman will have her own Real Housewives franchise. So be on the lookout for that. She's going to be throwing wine at people. So over here, things have not been quite as exciting as over there because something interesting has happened, something unusual. Our elected officials came together this week in the spirit of bipartisan cooperation and unity, and they passed a plan that will keep the government funded until January.
Wow.
And then everyone thought that cooperation thing felt way too weird, so a bunch of fights broke out. And now everyone feels much better. I gotta tell you, it's a real relief to have everyone at each other's throats again.
Yeah, I did see one bit where some ape of a senator and some other guy were ready to go at it before Bernie Sanders basically stepped in. I mean, sorry, but that's just embarrassing. We're much more civilized over here. You want to fight? We do it over email. Right. Take that. Yes. Warm regards. And don't forget to see in the head of the department. Boom.
That's certainly one way to go about it. Over here, we're a little bit more Thunderdome in our approach. So this all started with one representative accusing Kevin McCarthy, the former House Speaker, of elbowing him in the kidneys in the hallways of Congress. Then, like you said, this senator, who, by the way, is named Markwayne Mullen, and Markwayne, that is all one word. Okay? That's not two names, it's one name, smushed together for some reason.
Wow.
He is from the South, in case you had any doubts about that. I know you were probably wondering. So he offered to have a fist fight with the leader of the Teamsters in the middle of a hearing, which is an interesting approach.
Yeah, from what I know about these union guys, they're not ones to mess with, are they? Bernie Hoffa. Was it Bernie Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa, yes.
Jimmy Hoffa, I beg your pardon.
Yes, yes. They do heavy lifting all day, every day. That is their job. So they're very brawny. So generally not people that you would want to start a fight with. Plus they all work together. But this Markwayne Mullen guy is apparently he did some MMA back in the day. And so I think maybe he just got a little bored sitting in all these committee meetings and not fighting people. And so the opportunity came along and he took it.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then there was also in the middle of this another committee meeting, one representative called his opponent a Smurf, which was a big win for diplomacy everywhere. It was kind of one of those weeks where Marjorie Taylor Greene is serving as the calm, sane voice of reason, and that's just never good.
Thank goodness you have guns.
Yes, and Marjorie has about 50% of them. So we've got that going on, and then we have our presidential election, which again is an entire year away, and it's starting to get a little bit more interesting. So Tim Scott decided to abort his candidacy instead of carrying it to term. He's a man, that's allowed. And this was really interesting. Ron DeSantis has fallen to 4th place behind Chris Christie in a new poll that just came out. Apparently, people really want a leader that knows how to make facial expressions, and he's just not winning in that department. Yeah. Now Donald Trump is still far and away the Republican frontrunner, despite going into full-on Hitler mode and calling his opponents vermin, and saying, what if those vermin weren't there anymore? What would that be like? I'm just asking questions. And then he also forgot who the current president is. He said it was President Obama. And I just want to point out that what is the current president is one of the questions that they ask car crash victims to determine if they've got a head injury.
Well, there you go. Question answered. I mean, that's genuinely concerning. Do you think he's gotten crazier, or have we just gotten accustomed to a bit of sanity now in his absence?
I would say I think he actually is getting progressively more nuts by the day. He's certainly not getting any saner. I can promise you that much. Um, he's, everyone talks about Biden being so old and his cognitive decline. And it's like the very first speech that I ever heard Trump make, I was like, is this guy all there? So I don't think there's been any improvement in that, for all of these many years that he's been in the limelight. Now, he also requested a mistrial in his fraud case. And Matt, I know there's too many cases to keep track of. So this is the case over him lying about the value of his properties on tax and business documents.
Right.
And I know what you're thinking. Donald Trump would never lie, correct? We're all so surprised. Now, he has already been found guilty of lying, and this trial is to determine how bad the punishment will be, and it could put him out of business, which would be a pretty big deal. I know. I'm excited about that thought, too. Now, Trump filed for a mistrial on the grounds that the judge is biased. And I would just say, if the judge has any bias at all, I think that Donald Trump probably was the person to put it there. Think of Trump as a giant snake, right?
Wait a minute. Yep, I'm picturing him.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I know it takes your entire concentration of your imagination, but if you really try, there he is. So think of him as a snake that keeps eating mice. So if a snake came into your mouse courtroom every day and was like, man, that mouse judge looks delicious. All you other snakes should come here and eat him. Then I would imagine that mouse would have a little bit of bias against the snake.
You think? Yes, absolutely. I'll be honest, you mentioned snakes, but I kind of always pictured Trump as more of an orangutan, a regular orangutan, not one of the smart ones from Planet of the Apes. A regular one, just pick its nose, pick its arse, that sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. The hairdos are very similar there, for sure. Now, Matt, if there is any good news to be had, and Lord knows we could all use some, it's that the US and China are thawing out our frosty relations a bit and starting to work together on things like combating climate change and fentanyl. And I'm curious, is fentanyl as big of a problem over there as it is over here?
No, it really isn't, I'm happy to say. And I'm not happy because I've taken fentanyl. Honest.
Is that a little weekend holiday to Amsterdam kind of situation?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a fun city, I've heard. But anyway, I think it's nice to see these two nations working together to clean up the problems that they are primarily responsible for.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah.
There we go. So, Andrea, rather sadly, this is our last episode of 2023. So I'm going to ask you, what have been the highlights for you over there in the States? And indeed, anything you're looking forward to in 2024, like, I don't know, an election? And do you reckon that might throw up a few surprises?
Matt, I can promise you an unceasing string of surprises, each coming faster than the next. I think that the highlight for me this year was the House Speaker race. I have just never seen anything like that, just a complete and total inability to govern on full public display. I got to say, it was better than anything that Netflix has put out in the past 5 years. Hands down, my new favorite show. But for next year, I actually am looking forward to the election getting into full swing and getting more exciting. Maybe we can get rid of some of these candidates. There's way too many people running for president right now. I do acknowledge, though, that it's going to be stressful and horrifying, but it will not be boring. I can promise you that much. What about you? What do you... When you look back at 2023, what are the big events and what do you think is going to happen next year?
Well, plenty happening in 2023. Nicola Sturgeon, leader of the SNP, First Minister of Scotland, stepping down. Mm-hmm. King Charles having his coronation. The COVID inquiry, the Commons Privilege Committee report into Boris Johnson, which saw him suspended as an MP, effectively ending his political career. The highlight has to be the Tories losing over 1,000 seats in local elections. Plenty of by-elections too. And I think that will very much carry over into 2024, when probably autumn we'll have ourselves a general election. But here's the thing. Immigration is such a big topic over here. And the rhetoric has just gotten more shamefully worse, as those in charge are choosing popularity over responsibility. So I think that could be very much a defining point for next year's election. The Tories seem to be dealing harshly with immigration, that might swing the vote their way. So expect things to get depressingly worse for, human beings. Sorry, human beings in trouble.
Yes. Well, we've always got that to look forward to, don't we?
Yeah. Keep it positive, Matt. Keep it light. Come on. Yes.
All right, everyone. This is the season finale of our podcast. We are going to be taking a break until January, when we will be back for season 2. But in the meantime, I will still be here on Tuesdays and Fridays. Matt, I know you are going to be here at the Interesting Times UK on YouTube on Sundays. Is your schedule going to be different for the holidays?
Yeah. Basically, I'm producing like one more Sunday show, one more Wednesday show, and then that is it to the new year. But I shall make an announcement on my channel as well. But yes, here's a good point to bring that up. Thank you, Andrea.
For sure. And by the time you get back in January, our presidential election will be kicking into high gear. So I'm sure that we will have lots to talk about. And I hope that Santa hears your wishes and brings you a new prime minister for Christmas. I know the last one could easily fit into your stocking, but maybe this year you can just stand one up next to the tree. That might be nice.
That would be good. Yes. Thank you very much. And to you and to your family, a very Merry Christmas. Hope it's a nice, peaceful one. You deserve that. And have yourself a happy and prosperous new year. To all our viewers and subscribers out there as well.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching and listening, everyone. And we will see you next year.
Bye-bye.